seeing?
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by Amazon Prime. It's Friday, May 23rd, 2025. This is The Drop. I'm Jay Skeets, back in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
I'm Tass Mellis.
Next to him, it's the bearded one with Top Shot Hot Boy, Trey Kirby. Hey, yo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hit the like button and subscribe if you missed the bed podcast. Podcast listeners, hit your boys with a 5-star ratings and review. Yeah, a lot of people saying maybe we should bring in a queen-size bed here into the Classic Factory.
The energy's got to be different. You know?
That was a king, I think.
I guess it was a king.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was,
Well,
we had
maybe we
room.
get a little bit more.
A little more
packed
intimate.
in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
People were saying beanbag chairs is a possibility.
Sure.
I hate sitting in those, though.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with a
Too
computer.
relaxed.
Yeah.
I think I sleep more in a beanbag than a bed.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I'd just fall. I'd fall
wow.
asleep immediately.
You
So
didn't sleep
comfortable.
on that flight back from New York City.
No,
I imagine. Well, there was a crying baby nonstop, and that was a loud crying baby.
Yeah.
And it was like we were all sitting in the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went baby, me, Tass. But I still enjoyed my screening of Presence.
What's that?
That's a Steven Soderbergh movie, kind of like a ghost movie. It was interesting. Very
I
good, very
respect the hell out of you. You watch like just sort of all these random, not like crappy, I don't want to say that,
That
but
was
just
good.
like these sort of like movies I don't even know about on an airplane.
good. I'm searching out great movies.
Okay.
You know?
But you've watched some garbage ones as well.
Well, yeah, I like to. My general strategy is watch one bad one, one good one.
Okay.
Like on the way there, I watched Captain America: Brave New World. That was the bad one. On the way home, I watched Presence, the good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody think about asking to hold the baby?
Yeah.
Just like give it.
I
don't know. Was it? I didn't even know if it was a boy.
Just
or
give it to
girl.
me. Just give it to me.
Give me that baby.
We need to be walking up and down.
Yeah.
We need to be walking up and down. Up. Little. Let it puke on my back. I don't care. Enough of this.
Okay.
The baby wasn't really bothering me. I thought the dad was trying as hard as he could.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. The walk
I
was
know.
good. He was doing a shh.
Yeah, well,
That doesn't
work.
Come on.
Would
It's
you
so bad for
shh,
the parent,
baby?
man.
And now you're
That's
making
not bad
everything
for him.
louder.
No, but
Yeah.
that's performative. It's for everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
trying.
I'm telling everybody
It's not
that
for the
I'm
baby.
aware that this is happening. I'm trying my best here. But yeah, I was like, just give me the baby.
Just give me the face.
What a ride. That whole plane ride was fantastic. I actually tried to get into the bathroom before we took off.
Oh yeah.
It was vacant. The sign said vacant. I opened it up.
Oh no.
There's a lady in there
no.
going for the wipe. And then so I was ready to make things uncomfortable. I just stood there waiting for her to open the door. She just came up, just looked at me, just walked on by.
Wow.
So I like how she handled it.
Yeah.
She said
Oh,
that
we've said
was
this
a great
before.
experience.
It's oddly always more embarrassing for the person opening the door
Totally.
to the can, be it on an airplane or in the
A
washroom,
stall,
than it is
yeah.
the person in
Yeah.
the stall.
I gotta
I don't know
agree.
why, but
I agree.
it is.
It was not embarrassing for me.
Okay, good. You
What an
handled
eventful
it.
flight.
I know. It's like less than a
A lot
2-hour
happened,
flight.
man.
Okay, on today's show, we are going to do a little NBA awards roundup. All defense, all rookie. We can look ahead to all NBA, which is announced here on Friday night ahead of Game 2 in New York City. And it's the end of the week. It's the drop. We'll do some rapid fire fun. TK's got the questions.
Okay.
But first, let's get to the game from last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder took a 2-0 series lead in the Western Conference Finals. They beat the Wolves 118-103 at home. Fresh off his MVP win, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander notched 38 points, his 5th straight playoff game, scoring more than 30 points. So he was awesome. He got to the line. He had that midi drop in left and right. So did J-Dub. And it was like similar in a way, Tess, to game 1, sort of when they cranked it up there, you know, in the second half.
Yeah.
Put some distance between them and the Wolves and then held on. But they just look dominant right now.
They did. I will say it feels like the series has finally started, though. The Timberwolves played a better game than they did in Game 1, whether it's Anthony Edwards needing a Game 1 to feel it out or having 5 days off before Game 1. Anthony Edwards played a much better game. It starts with him. It trickles down. Look at the numbers overall for the Timberwolves. Paint to the paint went from 20 to 44 from game 1 to game 2. Their bench went from 26 to 35. Their turnovers dropped from 22 down to 14. Fast break, 0 to 9. I thought it started with Anthony Edwards being way more aggressive, getting into the lane. There was friggin' post-ups. I thought they just got into the lane and did some more drives and kicks. I loved watching Anthony Edwards come down from a pick down low, get the ball up top, and then blitz directly to the rim. And Lou Dort, such a great defender, even got dropped. And you saw him even in the first quarter where he wanted to set the tone, played 12 minutes. He got Cason Wallace in the post, and then he got the ball in the next possession. Cason Wallace is on him. He sees Julius Randle come in front of him for some reason to be in between them. You could hear him on the mic say, "Get out! Get out!" He was ready in this game, and it trickled down to everybody. That being said,
they were down at the end of the first quarter, got waxed in the third quarter, and down 2-0.
Yeah, and I thought
Minnesota made more threes than Oklahoma City, more free throws than Oklahoma City, had more offensive rebounds, fewest turnovers they've had in 5 games. Ant almost played Shai to a standstill. Caruso fouled out, and the Timberwolves didn't have a lead after the 8-minute mark in the second quarter.
Yeah.
It wasn't close. Minnesota has not yet stressed out Oklahoma City in any way. They haven't changed their schemes. The rotations are basically the same. Chet Holmgren got pulled in the first quarter of game 1 for Cason Wallace. That was the closest, dramatic mark at all so far in this series for the Thunder. Since he's came back in after that stint, he's been dominating, completely outplaying Gobert. The Ant thing is interesting. He did have a decent game, I thought. 32 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. You look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 38 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 turnover. Pretty similar lines, and SGA completely outplayed him.
Yeah,
it wasn't even, there's levels to it. You see how much more Ant has to do. He, to me, right now, doesn't seem to know how to be a playmaker and a scorer at the same time. He took a lot of bad shots in this game. Went 1 for 9 from 3. You see the value of having a mid-range jumper that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does, because Ant a lot of times over-penetrates, gets inside, throws up some junk at the rim, and it turns into a layup or a three-pointer for OKC on the other side. So Ant played good, but he wasn't the best player on the court.
No, he missed too many threes. He was 1 of 9 from 3. That was a big part of it. I did think he was way more assertive at making his decisions. He wasn't just hanging out with the ball up top. He was way quicker. Again, playing all those first quarter minutes, you could see how it trickled down to the bench, and those guys playing way better. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, Donte DiVincenzo alive. That being said, I mentioned DiVincenzo because, yeah, he had a better game, but he had 4 turnovers. Yeah, we know the Thunder are going to have such few turnovers every single time. You can't have a guy like Donte DiVincenzo handling the ball, turning it over 4 times. Same thing happened with Julius Randle. Those 2 guys combined literally turned it over more than the Oklahoma City Thunder did. And so, yeah, Anthony Edwards wasn't perfect, but I thought he was really good, and those guys just have to be better. I mean, this was a 6-point game late, 6 seconds left in the second quarter, and Donte DiVincenzo gets called for an offensive foul. We know Lou Dort is the screen navigator, but in this case, he was a good flopper.
He's also good at that.
Donte DiVincenzo got his elbows up. It was just a mistake. And so that turnover, it goes from a 6-point game, and it could have been 3-4 if they score a bucket, to there go the Timberwolves, the Thunder go to the other end, and Shai gets a foul. So there's dumb mistakes. I thought they were better. They didn't turn it over as much, but there's just too many mistakes against this perfect team.
Yeah, I think what we're getting at here is both things can be true.
Yeah.
Did the Wolves play a better game 2 than game 1? Yes, I agree with that. But are they completely outclassed still? So far, yeah.
Also true.
And this is the issue now as it goes back to Minnesota. Can they even win a game? I think is what you start looking at here. Now, maybe some of these guys, the role players at home, all that, hit some of these threes. Though, McDaniels hit a couple corner threes to start this game. Mm-hmm. And you're right, Ant was aggressive. He didn't even settle for that little baseline jumper like that right at the start of the game. He's like, nope, pump fake, got it to the rim. He was touching paint. He was kicking it out at times. DiVincenzo hit one after they blitzed Ant. Just kicked it to him. He hit a 3. Wow, thanks for showing up. But, all that to say, they were still trailing at the end of the first quarter, and they can't stop SGA and even J-Dub in this game. I mean, they have no answer to stop this mid-range game. If those guys are hitting that, they sort of are unbeatable.
Yep.
And I start to wonder, does Finch have to get really creative here? For as bad as Naz Reid has played, because he hasn't been able to hit a shot in this damn series, does he go to him? Does he start him, for crying out loud? Because Rudy is just left there. He doesn't come up far enough. He can't. So it's just these guys are comfortably stepping into just these mid-range jumpers time and time again, either at the top or on the baseline where SGA loves to cook. I don't know. And maybe it's put Ant on SGA. And
he's getting cooked every time he guards SGA.
I know. Well, everybody is.
McDaniels is too. McDaniels can't guard him. McDaniels needs to hang out in the paint. He needs to trick Shai Gilgeous-Alexander into shooting threes. That's Shai's weakness right now. He's 1 for 6, I think, in this series so far. He did hit a big one last night. 28%, though, in the playoffs. McDaniels is picking him up at half court. He can't stay in front of him. So he's just basically inviting him to take mid-range jumpers. So I kind of think back off a little bit. Let's say if Shai's shooting improvement is real in the playoffs. It hasn't been so far. You got to trick him a little bit because what they're doing, it obviously isn't working.
Yeah, and they've tried some zone. We saw that again last night, but man, OKC, maybe because they saw some reps against Denver and they feel more comfortable in it. They were doing the thing to beat the zone, right? It was Caruso in the inside of the middle of it. Hartenstein had his little floater going a few times that they tried to implement it. So like nothing that they're throwing at the Thunder, like they're like, okay, we're comfortable with that. Like we're going to be happy with our shot. And this is all to say they're up 2-0. What happens when they start hitting threes? There's going to be a game here where the Thunder actually hit threes. They were garbage again. They can't hit threes the entire postseason. They were like the 5th or 6th best three-point shooting team during the regular season when they won 68 games. They have not even played their best, which is insane to say to me. That's going to happen one of these games. Like a couple of those guys would be unleashed, and those are going to start dropping. Then we're going to have a 30, 40-point blowout here.
Yeah.
Either in this series or in the finals in a game or two.
Yeah, the scary part is they're starting this series way better than they started the Denver series, and that may be because they started that series with 8 days off, and now they're just feeling it a little bit better overall, but the shooting is still the same. It's still bad. 6 of their 9 guys coming into this series were below 35% from 3, and it's still happening all over the place. And I do think, yeah, they just have to drop against Shai and try and bait him into coming into his shot and shooting threes and hoping that happens. Because it did happen in the Denver series at times. You know, when he had that 1 of 8 fourth quarter, he's shooting those 4 threes that missed. Because you can't stop him one-on-one. You can't. And that's the scary part of this Thunder team. It's fun here. We're amidst this 7-year span in NBA history where we're going to have a different NBA champion every single season. And the OKC Thunder have only won 2 games in the Western Conference Finals, and it's hard not to think about this team starting a dynasty already and forgetting those 7 champs in 7 seasons because they just look ridiculous. They're stupid young, and now they've got everybody cooking, and they're not even cooking. They're like Lou Dort, 2 of 7 for 3. Jalen Williams could have been way better from 3, 2 of 6 from 3 for him. You know, Cason Wallace's shots are going to be open. He tends to hit open shots, 2 of 6 of 3 for him. So yeah, they got outshot in 3-pointers by the Timberwolves, and I guess that's a positive for the Timberwolves. Maybe they can shoot the ball a little bit better from 3 themselves.
They can't shoot.
Yeah, they're struggling.
They're getting wide open corner threes because OKC allows wide open corner threes, and they can't make them. Last night they went 4 for 15. Game 1 they went 5 of 21. A lot of these shots are the guys that you want shooting threes. DiVincenzo's missing. We talked about Naz Reid has been off. Nickeil Alexander-Walker can't buy a bucket. Like Mike Conley has kind of been an important player. I feel like for the Timberwolves, you need to have him on the court because Randle's giving you nothing. At least Mike Conley can move the ball, but if he's playing, they can't play defense. That's a slow old man out there, comparatively.
Yeah, the scary part, I do think Naz Reid coming into the series was balling from 3-point land. So
he was great against the Lakers.
So yeah, he cooled off against in round number 2 and with
the Warriors.
The Warriors. Yeah. He cooled off. Yeah, so he was over 40% in the playoffs. To see him go 0 for 5 in this game, that every freaking point matters. I bring up that DiVincenzo possession late second quarter. It's just one mistake, but every freaking mistake matters against this OKC team. Everything
feels like you have to play a perfect game. Somebody who wasn't perfect last night after a great first half in game 1 was Julius Randle, TK, who maybe had easily his worst game of this postseason. Maybe his worst game ever in the playoffs, and we had talked about a lot of those pretty brutal performances when he was with the Knicks in a few playoff games, but this was very bad, and he got benched, like you said, in the fourth quarter. Deservedly so, because he had nothing going. He couldn't even score inside in this game.
They couldn't get him the ball inside either. I mean, how many attempted lob passes did they just throw straight to the Thunder? It was pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
Game 1, first half, 20 points, 5 threes for Randle. Since then, he's got 14 points on 16 shots, hasn't made a 3, more turnovers than assists. He had a great 2 series. They're going to need something from him. Like, certainly the role players aren't playing well against the Thunder here, but Randle is not supposed to be a role player. He just, his skills in this matchup are not the right thing for him. He's a guy who wants to back you down, push you around, try and score inside, play the bully ball style, they are happy to do that. We'll take the bumps, we'll try and strip the ball, and then there's going to be so many guys inside. Said it in game one, when he's not thinking, when he's just catching it and shooting it or catching it and going to the hoop, then he has a chance. Then he maybe can be effective, but if he has the ball for more than 3 seconds, it's going to be a turnover or a miss, it feels like.
Yeah, that's what's scary, is that Julius Randle wants to play bully ball and he wants to get in the paint, and OKC's just so good at taking away everything in the paint. So he was great in game one at splashing threes, but that's where he made most of his shots.
Yeah.
And will that happen again? He took 2 moon balls, 2 really long threes to get him going. Will that continue to happen? I do like how Chris Finch is pushing him a little bit by saying you're not playing in the fourth quarter. He didn't play a minute in the fourth quarter. And I think Chris Finch knows how to push his buttons a little bit. It happened earlier in the season when he didn't pass it into Rudy Gobert into the paint, and they had a fight, and things worked out. Chris Finch knows this guy from his New Orleans days. We'll see if that helps out in game 3. They need the guy.
I heard Brian Windhorst compare the Thunder's defense when they start to go to the next level, usually in the third quarter. He compared it to the Kraken because of all their tentacles, because there's guys everywhere slapping away, deflecting, and then they're off and running. I like that, but I was watching the game thinking they just like this. The defense ratchets up as the game goes on, and it's like almost like a hydraulic press is what I was thinking, or even like an anaconda, like choking you out, because it's just like it's just constant, but it's just constant in that regard where it's like suddenly you start suffocating. And again, it's usually in the third quarter where it was an 8-point game at the half. They sort of let go of the rope right at the end of it, like you said, a couple plays their task. So it got to 8 for OKC. Then RJ's even on the call, like right to start the second half. He's like, they got to toughen up. And they sort of did for a second. You had Gobert grabbing some offensive rebounds finally. Minnie went on a little 7-0 run. But just as that third quarter went on, it was all that defense, all that suffocating, the hydraulic press, pressuring down. And it was suddenly 93-71 at the end of the third quarter. Again, similar to game one, where they blew it open and held on enough. Now, some mini fight in the fourth. They could have rolled over and died. I think they got it to maybe 10 with like 3 minutes to go, but then it was a J-Dub 3. It was SGA slithering his way for a layup, and then it was Chet Holmgren scoring inside. So like their 3 star players, a guy we haven't even mentioned yet, who had a really good game.
Chet was awesome.
Awesome. So I at least like the fight from Minnie, and maybe part of that was benching Randall and let's go guys here. Like let's take some momentum, if anything, try and unlock something back to Minnesota. But
you think that'll work? Triple teaming Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for 48 minutes? That's the only way they were getting back in the game in the fourth quarter.
I mean, you talk this idea about like dropping off and having the guy shoot threes. One, I don't think he's stupid enough to do it. I think he sort of learned his lesson when he went for those home run kills in that series, that one game where he was trying to put Denver to bed with a 3-point shot and couldn't hit them. So there's that. And then Mike Conley says the opposite. He sort of called out his bigs, actually. He said, Shai's one of the best in the world to get to his spot, rise up. Our bigs have got to be up. Our guards have to be ready to switch stuff and take away the midi. It's no longer one of those we'll settle for mid-range shot type series. You can't give it up to these guys. These guys make that shot. So.
They're killing them in the mid-range.
Yeah.
What they're doing isn't working. Gobert plays a drop. It's worse against Shai than it is against Luka, kind of.
Yeah.
Because Shai wants to shoot the mid-range jumper, and that's the defense that Minnesota is like prepared to go into this. So Shai's a mid-range player. J-Dub is a mid-range player. I don't know what Mike Conley thinks that the guards are going to do. They can't stay in front of either one of these guys. No. So I don't know. Literally the only reason they had success in the fourth quarter was junk defense. They were throwing 3 guys at Shai and trying to make somebody else make a play. The Thunder freaked out for a little bit, but they got their legs underneath them. Oh, yeah. And there's no way you can play that style for a real basketball game.
A little bit of good things came from Cuz. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I thought he's confident against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, no one can stop him. It's true. But if there's one guy who can use his length, I think it's him. So they're going to see more minutes of him. At least he came alive for the Minnesota Timberwolves offensively and defensively. He that was his best game of the playoffs.
We saw McDaniels get frustrated with SGA, obviously late in the game. Straight pushed him to the floor with 2 hands. Now, I thought it was a good job by ESPN to show us what happened like leading up to the push. And it was obviously SGA doing like the hook job and trying to get him, and like nothing's called, and so it continues. And then hook happens again, contact from McDaniels, and he's like, screw this. and pushes him. Nothing happens. I guess they called it a flagrant one on McDaniels.
He's a temper boy.
He is. Yeah, he's punched a wall once before, broke his hand.
Yep. And he's getting lit up. So, of course, he's upset.
Yeah.
He did have a couple. He blocked Shai on a 3-point shot. That was sweet. He blocked Jalen Williams once. He stripped Jalen Williams another time. Just trying to find the good things for Jaden McDaniels because, I mean, he had a good offensive game to drop 22. But yeah, it's the defense is the question.
So, do you believe Minnesota can still make this a series and, get this to be a competitive series at that here? I mean, it's obviously they got to win game 3.
Well, I didn't pick these guys, so I don't think that they're going to win the series.
Nobody did here. That's right.
What do you mean no one did?
Pick Minnesota.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I thought you
well,
did.
Ash did.
Oh, Ash did. I thought you did. Yeah.
We're all Thunder in 6.
Yeah.
Which is not going to happen.
The Thunder are going to win. The Thunder are going to win the championship. It's pretty obvious. But maybe Minnesota makes 23s in one of these games at home and extends it to 5 games.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see on the weekend. Game 3 is obviously the series here, and they're going to need a huge. It's got to be a Naz Reid hitting 5 threes or DiVincenzo hitting a bunch of threes. And
they had Randle hit 5 threes in the first half and didn't win that game. Yeah. They got blown out in that game.
Yeah. I thought Anthony Edwards again played better, but this OKC team looks way better than they did in round 2 because Denver took them to 7 games. Yeah. But
Denver stressed them out. They had to change stuff against Denver. They haven't had to change anything so far. This is like regular season basketball so far for the Thunder in this series.
Yeah, I
thought even the crowd was treating it as such. No shade to them because their team was just ass kicking, and it was like, wasn't it like sort of quiet? Like it just felt like a regular season game. It was like, oh yeah, we've seen this a lot of times.
Yep.
We barely lose at home. It just sort of had that vibe to it because they were never really pushed. And they didn't need the crowd, is my point. To like I mean, the biggest pop was for SGA holding up the MVP trophy.
Yeah,
which he did do.
He did do. OKC started that series poorly. They lost 2 of the first 3 games against Denver. I think part of it was having 8 days off after sweeping Memphis. I think that's definitely a part of this best team and how good they flow once they start playing regular basketball. The rest versus rust thing is real, I think, for teams that are good, and we're seeing them play. I mean, they had a way better game 1. They're already flowing. Yeah, Minnesota to throw them off. I think baiting them has to happen a little bit more. That's simply it. I mean, hit some shots.
Good luck.
Make some shots. They're like 26 for 90 through the first 2 games. Yeah. And this is not a 3-point shooting team. They're taking a ton of threes for a team that likes to score inside.
Well, yeah, Gobert and Randle. I mean, in this series, I think Finch has got to get. Maybe he won't in Game 3 because the series hasn't started yet. We got our first home game. You don't want to like react too much. I get that, but like he's even trying things. I mean, he's trying zones and he's trying. Obviously, he's benching Randle and he's trying to get these guys off the bench. And did have a better performance in Game 2, but when they beat them in the regular season, they were missing Gobert. They were missing Randle. And it was like McDaniels at the 4 and Naz Reid. Now, I think this would be easy to lean into that if Naz Reid was playing well. It would be like, oh, yeah, let's try it. Sorry, Rudy. We're going Naz. We're going like smaller or whatever and try and run with them. But like he's not playing well, so you're less likely to even go to that. But I don't know. Maybe it gets drastic here. We did have SGA holding up the MVP trophy. We had Jalen Williams mic'd up for this. He was pumped. I mean, I would be too if I got a Rolex. That'd be nice. Nice at SGA to give him a loot bag for being his teammate. But I just like this photo. It's like you rarely see SGA smile this much. He was grinning from ear to ear holding that up in front of the crowd.
I haven't seen a grin like that since they lost Game 3 against Denver.
That's right. Good point. And what did he know? So that was cool. Chris Paul there in attendance. And obviously the press conference the day before and got quite emotional, talking about his wife and all the people that supported him to get to this level. But I did like that he was like, I'm glad we got the win too. It makes like this whole like last couple days and the days moving forward more enjoyable. You get this trophy as the best player in the NBA this season. It's nice if you're also winning. It's a little different if it's like a 1-1 series and you played bad and it's like, crap. But not the case. So you can enjoy it even more.
A Rolex for everybody. iPhones for everybody. Okay. Man, this guy balled up. Beats by Dre headphones.
I didn't know that was still a thing.
Yeah, I guess so. And custom Canada Goose jackets.
Nice.
Those are nice jackets.
Custom.
Yeah.
So we got embroidered initials for each guy on them or something?
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they're tailored. They know every
maybe
curve of every man's shoulders or whatever. That's nice. But those things are so hot. Where are they going to wear those things?
They travel enough.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They're gonna have to put them on ice though. Like they're not gonna wear them
No.
for months at this point. Yeah.
I always wanted one.
Never had a Canada. Good.
Nah, I'm not paying a G
Yeah, I was
note.
gonna say they're not
Pricey.
cheap. Yeah.
They're like
for
$1,000
Damn.
to put on a jacket.
Okay.
But one day, maybe one day. Anyway,
You think he's trying to encourage like a real life commercial where they accidentally all show up wearing the same outfit?
Yeah, probably. That's a good point. Get the whole team in the commercial.
Everybody
It's
shows
just
up.
J-Dub
Oh,
and
man.
Chet in that other one. Yeah, I like that. Funny moment from this game: Lou Dort smacking Scott Foster in the face. Had that jump ball situation with Randle. I think Randle sort of kicked him even accidentally too, but Dort slapped Scott and he had the bloody nose. We had a big delay of game like a minute and a half into this game.
Yep.
And we brought Steve Javy on to talk about it. That was wild.
Yeah, he remembered the time when a referee got hit. He told a quick story.
Yeah. I forget who he said.
I don't know.
It was a ref I didn't know, but he said, Steve Javy said, Scott will be razzed on this, and he can't take a punch.
What?
Wow.
I know.
You think they ever fought each other? Steve Javy
and
versus
Scott?
Scott Foster? What you got?
I think I'd take Steve in that. Steve seems scary to me in a weird way.
Scary Steve.
Yeah. I also like,
He
I'm
is.
always like, we've watched a million ESPN broadcasts, playoff games, big games, and I always forget when Mike Breen suddenly goes, all right, let's go to Steve Javy in the replay. So I'm like, oh, shit, Steve. He's just waiting. He's just like literally just waiting, ready to go, makeup on, suit on.
Yeah.
The
I hope they
entire
need
game.
me.
Yeah.
It is a strange thing.
It always like surprises me. Like, oh yeah, he's ready to go. He's got the camera there.
Yeah. Does he have to do this? I mean, how many times does he come on air?
Like they're
in a
definitely
7-game series over the course of like 10 years, how many times has he done it? Like
right.
3?
How many games has he not been on is a good question.
way
And
more
he's
than-
just like, you get to picture Steve Javy just sitting there.
He's just sitting there.
Back in Secaucus.
And that's why I thought that quick story that he had was something. You know, was the story.
So do you
He was
think
waiting. He was
You
waiting.
think Steve's like pressing a button like to the producer?
I got something.
I got something. Get me on here. I want to razz Scott. This guy can't take a punch, and I got a great story about a guy named Eric Humphrey, or whatever the guy's name
Whoever
was.
it was. Yeah. Anyways, come on, Julius Randle. Come on. They got to use more possessions where he gets down low and is ready to cut like side to side, gets the ball in the mid-range, is able to move that OKC defense before the ball gets there, just to get a little bit of space. Because he is a bully. He needs to get the ball
He
down
can't
low.
bully Caruso or Dort or even Hartenstein, and then Chet's
Not
roaming. So it's like he could like look even Draymond Green. Props to him. I saw that clip. I didn't watch or listen to the whole podcast, but he said Randle destroyed me.
Yep.
Randle outplayed my ass in that series against the Warriors. Now, no Steph, and it changes the dynamics and all that, but he was like, I got cooked.
Yeah.
And he's great. Draymond Green, obviously one of the better defenders, but he can't have his way with these guys. And just mainly the Wolfpack mentality of them. Like you were saying, the ball goes on the ground. It's like,
Yeah.
three guys on him.
Yeah, that's why he's got to get rid of the wolf pack and able to move to receive the ball. And he doesn't have to get the ball at the 3-point line or right away. He has to be able to move those guys to be able to get a pass down low a little bit better. Because I think it's a little bit overblown that those guys are just going to stop him right away. I mean, you just can't hang out there. You can't be like Jokic is just like waiting. So Caruso is, I mean, he's got Wolves sicking on him. He had Caruso on top of him. So he's got to move more.
Another random note I had here. Was it extra sunny in OKC over the last few days? Because Caruso had a wild farmer tan going. Did you see the back of his neck?
I did not.
His neck was so red. I was like, man, it must have been sunny over the last couple of days. And he was outside walking around. This is the type
Maybe
of notes
so,
you're going to get
maybe
from
so.
me here as this game gets out of hand. And then my final note is that OKC PA announcer, they love that Super Mario Brothers sort of song. No, do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh yeah, yes.
Do-do-do-do-do-do. They go to that one a lot. And they sort of incorporate it with their defense chant, the Super Mario Brothers. So anyway, any other notes you guys?
Is that so they do it for defense?
They sort of like do, yeah, it's like,
They just like putting it on.
it's like they do the defense with the do-do-do-do-do-do, defense, do-do-do-do-do-do, defense. That's how they sort of incorporate it, but they go to it a lot. And I like it. I noticed it. Maybe it's just because
Nice.
we've watched a lot of OKC games
They've
here.
been playing a lot,
Anything else from this one?
When the Thunder went on their big run in the third quarter, Mike Breen called the Thunderbolt. He settled on Thunderbolt.
I know he did, which is
That's
better.
good. That's good.
Better than Thunder Avalanche, which was
Yes.
said post game.
Yes.
They did say that.
You're
They
right,
asked Shai
you're right.
that, or they said that. Who was it again? Who was on the sidelines last night for ESPN?
I don't even remember.
Oh, come on. Obviously, it's Breen, Jefferson, and Doris. Who's the fourth? Who's
Doris.
the fourth? Oh, Lisa Salters.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Lisa.
She called it a Thunder Avalanche, but you're right. Breen did the Thunder Bolt.
Yeah.
Not Thunderstorm,
Yep.
which we've sort of been pushing.
Yep.
But
I think Thunderbolt is good.
it's fine.
Yeah, makes them sound fast too.
Yeah, they are that. I want to get your opinions, and everybody here in the stream team and all the podcast listeners, your opinions to this comment that I saw on one of the Athletic posts, because it's about the Thunder. Because I'm sure you guys have seen it. There is a lot of hate about this team. Now, there's a lot of hate in general, right, on the internet. But
Yep.
this person writes, named BA, probably not Brian Anderson, but as a neutral, it's hard not to like the Thunder. They got a humble superstar who is a two-way player. They play great team offense. Everyone works on defense. They have incredible glue guys like Caruso and Dort. They have players who are good with a chance to ascend to greatness in Holmgren and J-Dub, Jalen Williams. They're young and they're hungry and they're confident without being cocky, and they're a small market team. And then, he just like sort of asked this to the rest of the chat, like, so why he's like confused why they are so disliked. Just thought it'd be interested to hear your opinion on that comment, whether you sort of agree with them. Like, yeah, it makes some good points. Like, why aren't they almost like more championed for a lot of their characteristics?
Okay,
Where it
so
seems
I
to be
think
the
I think there's three factors here.
Okay.
Number one, first and foremost, is screen time. If you have more than 4 hours of screen time per day, you're probably a little bugged at the Oklahoma City Thunder because you're spending too much time online. You're seeing them dancing in TikToks. You're seeing the edits of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander foul baiting.
the commercials even.
That was going to be my number 2 point. They've had the two most annoying commercials of the NBA playoffs the past 2 seasons. This year's, I think, is a little bit better than what a pro wants, what a pro needs, but still both annoying. And like, I don't think Shai is a super magnetic personality. He's pretty low key. He is a super humble superstar. He gives very thoughtful answers, but are people tapping into the post-game press conferences? Maybe not. But if you're just a person who's literally just watching basketball, you're like, they don't shoot a ton of threes. They make a lot of mid-range jumpers. They play defense. This is what people said they wanted to see.
Well, yeah, right. Everybody's like, there's too many threes. They're like, we won't take any. They're like, where's more threes? You can't win.
You can't win. The only thing that bugs me about the Thunder, I've never thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's Instagram comments are good.
His
his captions.
His lyrics.
Yeah, I don't think they're good.
Okay. What do you think about this idea of like, why are they crapped on so much for, again, like a lot of the things he went through here in this comment? It's like, oh yeah, this is sort of stuff we sort of want most of the time in a team.
Yeah. No, Trey brings up great points. The commercials annoy people. My advice, just watch the in-arena feed. Just watch it on NBA.com. Watch the whole game through there. You can put it on your TV. You never watch the commercials.
Right.
You guys continuously talk about the commercials throughout the postseason that you've watched. I saw them once because I was watching an actual TV. That's it. It's been amazing.
So when you're watching these games, you're watching on your laptop the entire time, or are you like casting it to your television?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not watching a game on my laptop when I have a giant TV that I want to watch on.
They make
get out of here.
What's wrong? They make laptops big.
I stare at this all day as it is for 3 hours when I want to watch a basketball game. I don't want to stare at this as well.
Well, you're staring at a screen.
I know, but at least it's a bigger one on a wall.
Yeah, anyway.
Fun screen, work screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, a fun screen, work screen.
But hey,
that's
I
great
hear you about the
differential.
no commercials because they only play 4 or 5 commercials as it is.
Yeah. I don't even.
There's 5 commercials. That's all we see.
But how are you not seeing commercials? I don't understand that.
They just
It's
stay.
just an arena feed. They
the
literally
league
just stay there.
League pass style.
Yeah, it's a league pass thing. But NBA should offer that to people. They're never going to do that because commercials. But it's nice.
Yeah,
It's
you're seeing
super
all
nice.
the like games that they're playing in the arena and the crowd shots.
Here
and all
comes
that.
here comes Drake. Oh, this Drake song. Didn't know it, but they're playing it in OKC.
Okay.
So the whole thing about Shai, he hasn't been pushed quite yet. I think the league will be comfortable pushing him a little bit more now that he's
And that'll be a good thing.
well for the fact that people will say, I mean, he's not. He's definitely not the most magnetic personality. That's for sure. So I think that's part of people like feeling a little indifferent. I also don't read his captions, but Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he should improve on his captions. I don't know. They haven't pushed OKC enough. They're kind of this team that's kind of been middling as a great team, but on national televised games, they haven't a lot. They had to flex a couple games this year. I don't know. Yeah, people will hate him because people hate things.
Well, that's really what it gets down to. I mean, if you're good, people are going to hate you is what we're getting at. They've won 78 games in the regular season and the playoffs combined now. 60 of them have been by double digits. That's tied for the most ever with a team that was beloved. I say that sort of jokingly, the 2016-17 Warriors. So they've tied them. One more double-digit win in this postseason will beat that team, which is pretty amazing in terms of just like beatdowns in a lot of games.
I guess people hate the the post-game interviews that everyone's together too. I don't know why they would hate that. They do, probably. They just hate everything. I want to know, when Mike Breen was going to halftime and they showed Michael Malone, who's just fired by the Denver Nuggets, who's now working on the ESPN halftime shows, he said, we'll have to find out, is Michael Malone wearing a lot of makeup or a little makeup? Did they address that at halftime?
No, I don't.
Richard Jefferson jumps in and says,
I heard that.
As Mike Breen says, there's Michael Malone. Richard Jefferson says he prefers Mike Malone.
Yeah, that was a joke, I think.
Because why?
Because he doesn't.
Named. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was RJ being sarcastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
weird joke.
Weird joke. Yeah. Who got that?
I gotta
other
say,
than
too,
broadcasters like us.
I had higher hopes for these three: Breen, Doris, RJ. I haven't been impressed that much.
You want Jeff and Mark back?
I don't know. It's a little too vanilla still to me personally. I thought there was going to be a little more fun with RJ in the mix.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got until it's gone?
Sure.
Nice.
Sure.
Nice.
Pave Paradise gave us Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm alone. Maybe people are enjoying it.
Yeah. Is it part of it that OKC's just spanking here and the games aren't a little more close? Maybe not. Maybe that's why people hate OKC, because they just spank everybody.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
let's hear from everybody out there. Do you agree with this comment? Are you one of these people that are like, or at least explain why you maybe dislike the Thunder? What's going on here? It's a little odd. Anything else on the game or the series? We can talk some awards. Let's do awards.
Yeah, I like it.
We got a lot to get to here, actually. Hawks guard Dyson Daniels, Thunder guard Lou Dort, and bigs Draymond Green, Evan Mobley, and Amen Thompson have been selected to the 2024-25 NBA All-Defensive First Team. Daniels, Dort, Thompson, first-timers. So congrats to them. All-Defensive Second Team consists of Blazers forward Toumani Camara, Wolves center Rudy Gobert, Grizzlies forward Jaren Jackson Jr., OKC wing J-Dub, Jalen Williams, and Clipper center Ivica Zubac. Any takeaways from the all-defensive teams here? TK, anything jump out to you?
Perimeter defense is back. I think that's the hugest thing here. You got two legitimate guards on the first team, plus Amen Thompson, who is a wing, but he guards quite a bit. I would also say that J-Dub and Toumani Camara are kind of perimeter-based defenders.
Yeah.
They definitely guard big guys as well, but definitely more representation for the smallies on this year's all-defensive teams. After the way it went last year, did Herb make first team? Herb Jones maybe made first team. I know Caruso was the highest guard defender last year, and he was a second-team guy. So It feels like voters recognized the importance of the perimeter defense as well. Because last year, after they went to the positionless change, it felt like we're just going to get 5 centers on the first team every single year. But apparently that's not the case.
All defenders, they have to play 65 games.
Yes, this is one where you have to do that, and there's the whole minutes played too. Because where did Caruso end up?
That's why he didn't.
Games played.
He fell short in both departments. He didn't play 20 minutes per game. He run a round up.
And I remember there was that whole Hollinger article addressing that. That should probably be changed. Like, why can't you be a defensive specialist coming in? Chris Dunn
19
as well.
minutes a game, and that's why I'd be comfortable. It's interesting with Caruso because he went from 28 minutes a game last year with the Bulls down to 19, and he played in 54 games. So I think that should play a part of it. Like,
I get it. But it's so funny because, and again, Lou Dort, amazing. J-Dub, amazing. Most people would say Caruso's a better defender than both those guys because he is. But obviously that's like they have all these riches, man. And then Cason Wallace is going to start making some of these teams in the future, I imagine, or at least maybe a second team here or there. He's got so many good. Hey, Shai's a pretty damn good defender for an MVP himself, but not again on this team. Chet Holmgren can make one of these maybe in the future. That's like I'm up to like 6 guys here who are going to be like all NBA selections potentially. So yeah, but Caruso fell short.
Yeah, Caruso was on with Scott Van Pelt talking baldness and also defense after the game last night, and he listed out, like you're doing, all the guys that got votes. They got 4 guys that got votes. Chet would have made an all-defense team if he would have played enough minutes and enough games as well. And then like he kind of like threw himself a bone at the end. He's like, yeah, and I got it on my resume too. That's how good they are defensively. That you could take the 7th man on this team. Like you could take Cason Wallace, and he would be the best defender on a lot of teams.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Damn good.
Mobley received 99 of 100 first-team votes. He and Daniels were the only players to be named to all 100 ballots. And Draymond Green, we should point this out, 9 total all-defensive team selections, tied for 7th most in NBA history, along with Hall of Famers Dennis Johnson, Michael Jordan, Jason Kidd, Hakeem Olajuwon, Gary Payton, future Hall of Famer Chris Paul. That's the level Draymond's at with those 9 all-defensive team selections here.
Yeah, and his gray hair looks glorious in that photo. In that beard, is he the first player with gray hair on his face or hair to ever make an All-NBA team or an All-Defense team? What a stupid question. Who knows? But he looked good. Yeah, it was great to see that team turn around after they got Jimmy Butler. That's when they turned around to being such an incredible defensive team. And Draymond, yeah, he deserves all the credit. It is interesting. Dyson Daniels on a stinky Hawks defense. It wasn't a good defense.
All those steals that
undeniably great season
that no one had sort of seen before in a very long time.
Spectacular.
Is there any snubs that you were like should have deserved more love, or surprised maybe didn't make the cut that had also minutes played enough? I get like OG Anunoby is a pretty damn good defender. I think he's
the next up guy.
He's the next guy. Yeah, he I guess Gobert probably got in with that last spot over him. But anyone else I'm missing? No.
Nobody I would add. Like,
No.
I mean, Bam is a guy that makes all defensive teams, but he didn't have a great year, and the Heat were not great defensively either.
And of course, Wembanyama, another guy that would have made it, won Defensive Player of the Year, but didn't play enough games after the injury. Well, earlier in the week, Spurs guard Stephen Castle was unanimously selected to the NBA All-Rookie First Team. He received first-team votes on all 100 ballots, and joining Castle there, you got Grizzly center Zach Edey, and forward Jalen Wells, Hawks forward Zachary Risache, and Wizard big man Alex Sarr. All-Rookie second team, here you go, TK. Bulls forward Matas Buzelis, Wizards guard Bub Carrington, Blazers center Donovan Clingan, Pelican center Yves Missy, and Heat center Khalil Ware. So a bunch of big guys on that all-rookie second team. Anything jumped off the page to you there, TK?
Would the second team beat the first team if they played each other? Not a lot of scorers on the first team. I mean, not a lot of scorers, period.
No, I was going to say, is there a lot of scorers on this one? I mean,
like, Bub can handle the ball.
Yeah, there's not a lot of scoring, you're right. There's a lot of defensive guys here.
Stephon Castle would be their ball handler.
He would be the
star.
ball handler.
Yeah.
Edey's big.
Yeah.
Edey's big. Edey versus Clingan, I would love to see once again. But yeah, when you see the all-rookie teams, you're like, no wonder Stephon Castle won Rookie of the Year. He's the one guy you look at those 10 and you're like, yeah, maybe he could be on the fringes of an all-star conversation.
Grizzlies are the first team to have multiple players on the NBA All-Rookie First Team in the same season since the Memphis Grizzlies in 2019-20. Brandon Clark and John Morant.
Yep.
Yeah. So they got 2 there, which, I mean, Jalen Wells making it was great. I mean, he obviously got injured at the end of the year. There is no requirement for games played when it comes to all rookie teams. So that's unlike the other NBA awards. People were wondering, was it possible? Could it have opened the door for Sixers rookie Jared McCain to maybe make like second team all rookie? He averaged 15.3 points per game in 23 games.
Yes.
That's all he played. But then obviously had the meniscus tear in his left knee. He did receive 1 first place vote, I think, and I think 5 second place votes. So some people were like, I don't care. I'll give him a vote. He played a quarter of the season, but he was arguably the best rookie in that quarter of the season. But ultimately didn't make the team, and that's okay.
There's some monstrous men. Of these 10 guys, there's some big. The second team is Yves Missy, Donovan Clingan, and Khalil Ware.
Yeah.
These are huge guys. And then, obviously, the biggest of them all, Zach Edey, Alex Sarr, Zachary Risache, pretty big, too, on the first team.
Yeah, and Buzelis is even big.
6'10",
Yeah.
He might be taller than Missy.
Oh,
Yeah, Missy might be
wow.
a tiny bit small. You're right. Yeah, you said the Stephon Castle is on the fringe of an all-star. Did you mean this season or
No,
his
he did
career?
not.
No, in his career.
Okay.
In
Well,
his, how many All-Stars are we going to get from those 10 guys?
it's either-
All-Star appearances.
2. Oh,
Two?
a total all-star.
Total
appearance.
All-Star appearances.
Oh.
So it's Stephon Castle, Zachary Shai
Shai
is
could maybe
number,
make
next
one.
one.
What?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you don't want to give it to him. He did get way better as the season went on. I'll just give you quick numbers.
I'm going to set
because
the line at 4.5 total all-star appearances from those 2 all-rookie teams. Okay?
that's all.
I would be
That's
way
a
under.
Good
Way
number.
under.
That's
Way
a-
under.
That's hot.
Well, I'm thinking, like, if Castle
Somebody
turns
sneaks
into
in.
a star, like,
Yeah.
you know, then you make a couple of them, and then maybe one of the other guys makes 1 or 2.
Okay, 4.5.
3
Not
you
bad.
thought 4.5 is too high?
I'm
Okay.
going over.
Okay. You're going over?
Who's
Okay.
doing them?
Okay,
Who's
you're going
doing them? I mean, Alex Sarr did turn into a different player as the season went on. Yeah,
He
it's-
can't score. He had maybe the worst 2-point percentage of everybody in the NBA, and he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he can shoot the 3-ball, man. He had a month of 45%.
A whole month?
Yeah, 45.5. It was only 9 games. Yeah, they're not
Short one.
spectacular numbers. Research that guy can definitely shoot the 3. In 2024, bad numbers. 23, 30, and 29 the first 3 months. Then he went 36, 44, 39, 39 in the last 4
Yeah.
months. He got better.
He got better.
Well, as a complimentary player, that's where he is. He's 19. He just crossed the ocean. I do believe that there's some
What do
help.
you make it sound like he took a boat?
We saw sailor.
Well, we saw a lot of sailors.
Saw a lot of sailors in New
NYC.
York City.
Yeah. It's like, we never see that here in Atlanta. We're landlocked.
We're landlocked.
A bunch of people walking around dressed as sailors. Those are cool.
Yeah,
Ahoy.
that was weird.
All right. All NBA teams will be announced tonight. I'll ask you in advance. I mean, we find out at 7 o'clock tonight, the 3 teams. Do you think, or who will be the biggest snub from these 3 all NBA team selections? See the future, TK. Tell me who the people will be like, how did so-and-so not make the all NBA third team or second team?
The only way I'm figuring on this is I looked at 2 articles of people trying to predict who they think is going to be on these teams.
Okay.
And Tyrese Halliburton was only on half of the NBA.com voters list. Sean Powell had him, for instance, but John Schumann didn't. I
Okay.
think if he doesn't make the team, with the playoffs he's had, you would easily say he's the biggest snub.
That's good pick. If he doesn't crack that third
Right.
all NBA team.
He seemed to get a little bit of heat, I feel like, in the second half
Yeah.
of the season from people that were locked in on the Pacers. Like, I mean, I know Powell's watching him. I know Schumann's watching him as well. I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised that Schumann didn't have him, to be quite honest. But if you, like, first impressions really stick with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a great start to the season, nor did the Pacers. They turned it on in the second half. They turned it on basically once 2025 rolled around. But I think Halliburton should be an all-NBA player. I just don't know that he's locked in for everybody right now.
Right. And I guess, like, it's possible. Like Siakam may not make one of these teams, right? So like we could have a situation like, let's say you know, the Pacers win again tonight. We could have a situation where the Knicks have 2 All NBA guys selected because Brunson's first team, first or second team, I guess, and then Cat's going to make one of those teams, and maybe the Pacers have 0. That'll be a storyline, Tess, for sure. Be like, what the hell?
Oh, that's very much a good possibility. And yeah, Schumann actually, I read that same article because he said the guys that will probably be omitted are Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay.
So do they take away each other's points? When do these people vote? If they're voting now.
They voted months ago, I would hope.
At the end of the regular season, right? Yeah, because right now it's you got to have Tyrese Halliburton on there, but Pascal Siakam was equally as important during the regular season. That guy is just a rock, but he is one of those rocks that gets overlooked.
I feel like one guy who was like on some people's ballots, not on others, was James Harden, too, in the season he had for the Clippers. I feel that'll be like an interesting one, whether he makes it. And, you know, if he does, people are like, oh, wow, he had a great performance in the playoffs again. What the hell? But, yeah, maybe he sneaks in there because he did have a good regular season.
Yeah, the Clippers may not have a guy either. Although our man John Schumann, I think he picked Ivica Zubac. And that's a guy who'd probably get left off, I imagine.
Don't think Zubac
I do like how we have gone positionless in the All-NBA voting because it's guys like Rudy Gobert who aren't incredible offensive players that aren't going to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're sort of one-way players. Like your top 3 centers just aren't necessarily going to be on there. I mean, Zubac is close to that, but you kind of look at other guys and you think, oh, good two-way players. More wings are going on than centers is what I'm getting at. I had trouble putting on Rudy Gobert in the older days. Like it seems like forever ago, but he's made 4 All-NBA teams when it was centers were
Had to have
capable
a
of.
center.
Well, it was
yeah.
Jokic and Embiid, and then it was like,
Who's the
who's
third
the
guy?
third?
Who's
It was
our
like
third
Bam
guy?
or Rudy, Bam or Rudy. It's like
Yeah.
sort of like felt like that for a while, but
It's just
yep,
weird.
now it's positionless.
It's weird picking a guy who can't score. I found that weird. I always found that weird. This is the NBA. This is the best league in the world, and we can't pick a guy who can score. That was always strange to me. And today's
So you like this
game,
better?
I think
Just name the 15 best players, or put that
I
on
think
your
so.
ballot.
Yeah, get a
All right.
pacer on there though.
We'll find out tonight.
Yeah.
7 o'clock, I think, is when they're announcing that on TNT. Okay, before we go, let's have some rapid fire fun. TK's got the questions. We've got the answers.
On Wednesday night, the Pacers pulled. Wait. When did we watch that Knicks game?
Yeah,
That was Wednesday night.
That was Wednesday.
I know.
It's been a week.
Very weird week for us.
I feel like we came into the Classic Factory on Tuesday morning, and we've just been in production since that moment.
Yeah,
Sort of have.
We
Yes.
have been.
Because we've been in meetings for 2 straight days, and when we weren't in meetings, we were watching basketball and then doing a podcast from a bed
Yeah.
in New York City.
Yeah, I wrote down Wednesday night. It felt right when I wrote it. And I said, I was like, really?
Yeah.
On Wednesday night, the Pacers pulled off yet another stunning comeback, beating the Knicks after being down 14 with a little less than 3 minutes left. Depending on how you slice it, the loss goes down as arguably the worst playoff collapse ever. So, fellas, what is your all-time worst choke? Skeets.
Well, I wish Lee was here for this, because I don't know if he remembers, but a few years ago we were working at Turner, and we were about to have lunch, but then a meeting got called, so Dennis could catch a flight home to Chicago early. And I was like, I'm not sure we can do that, because I was really hungry. So I decided to go into the boardroom, and I snuck a hot dog in my sleeve. Do you remember this?
No,
So I
don't.
snuck a hot dog in my sleeve, and I'm trying to keep it secret. TK's looking at me though, so I had my head down and I'm nibbling away at it, but it backfired.
You were
because
tired that day.
I was super tired, and suddenly, the hot dog came out of the bun, and I started choking on it.
Oh yeah.
And everybody started running over to help me.
Heimlich time.
And basically I got a hot dog stuck in my throat, and I'm thrashing around like a wild animal, and you got JD's don't break it, it'll get stuck, you know.
right.
So eventually got it out, but I puked all over. I think it was your bag. It was your knapsack.
Yeah. Threw that one out. Yeah.
So moral of the story is you can't skip lunch. You just can't.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
But I wonder if Lee remembers.
I doubt
Probably
it.
not.
Probably not.
Probably doesn't remember that.
That's why they got fired. We were fired because of that.
You think they fired because they choked on a hot dog?
Yeah.
At Turner Studios?
Yeah, and then you invented that thing, the vacuum
The
sucky
Carba
thing.
vac. Yeah, I made a lot of money on
Yeah,
that.
you did.
You should be allowed to puke on your friend's bags with no consequences. That's just something I believe in.
My answer, no choke. I forgot my toiletries when I went to New York City just now.
Oh.
Huge mistake.
You left them
Not
in
a
your
razor.
gym bag. Is that what happened?
Yeah. I'm just a man of routine. I went to the gym Tuesday morning. The toiletries were supposed to be transferred from my gym bag to my luggage. They were not. Didn't have a toothbrush. Didn't have dental floss. Didn't have any hair product. I had to go get tree oil. I bought tree oil from a local Target. I had tree oil in my hair when I came home. I said, Danielle, because she likes to let me know when I need to wash. Do I need to wash my hair? I've got tree oil in my hair. She said, yeah, you need to get it out. I said, nah, I don't. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you were complimented on your hair getting on the plane after that weekend, a full weekend of work. The flight attendant was like, God damn, you have nice hair.
No, he was talking to both of us.
He did. He complimented my beard as well.
yeah.
And he's like, I gotta get to the barber shop or whatever he was saying. He was like, I'm like, you look great, man.
Yeah, you did. That was very kind of you.
And guess what? I got 2 snacks.
Oh, wow.
Gave me 2 pretzels, and I was like, hey man,
Wow.
these are for you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
They had pretzels on that?
Yeah, man. Just gotta
I
have
thought it was
fun.
a snack mix with pretzels in it.
pretzels in it. They call it a
Yeah,
pretzels
see,
mix.
not
or
just
whatever.
pretzels.
All right.
Yeah. You know our Delphus.
I went Sun Chips. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
They didn't have granola bar. I had to do Sun Chips both ways. They call them minis, man. Those minis. They have to go minis inside that tiny little bag. I can barely fit my giant hand in there.
Yeah.
I talked about my tiny feet, but look at these hands. They break them into smallers. There's 3 actual Sun Chips in there, but
I
it looks
know.
like 12.
I know. It's just you have to start you gotta do a shot glass of Sun Chip dust because they're all broken up.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all air.
Also, it's weird. I know they're called Sun Chips, but I never think of Sun Chips as chips.
Yeah.
Like they say you want chips, and I think
Potato chips.
potato chips.
Yeah.
And then they hand you Sun Chips.
Some wheat cracker, really.
Yeah, it's not a chip.
Why do they call them sun chips?
That's what I'm saying.
What's the sun have to do with anything? They're not growing on trees.
Because the wheat is grown by the sun, as opposed to a potato, which is under the ground.
Okay, you're right.
I don't know.
You're absolutely right. I take it back. Sun makes sense. Chips, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Chips
you're
don't.
right.
JD, you ever have a choke?
Yeah, man. I of all people emceed a fashion show in high school. It was like they asked me to do it. I was like, I guess a fashion show. What like? Yeah, they put on a fashion show. They went out to local businesses, got all these clothes, and had a fashion show. But they needed somebody to MC it. They asked me. They're like, you're a pretty funny guy. Yeah, you do it. So there were 7 categories. And I wrote material for myself for the first 3, and then I was like, I think I got this.
Just wing it.
I'm going to wing the rest of it, basically out of laziness. Good Lord. It was the worst bomb.
You bombed?
Oh, so hard. Like,
But what do you mean? Like somebody came out wearing said clothes, and you were supposed to like.
no.
And here's Stacy wearing Randy River jeans. Like,
No, but I think Randy River was involved somehow.
yeah, for sure was.
No, it was like in between the things, right? So it would be like, all right, and now professional wear or business wear, business attire.
Okay.
And then I would go backstage, and then it would be, and then all
okay.
then they
Yeah, the
just
walkway.
strut
Yeah.
the catwalk and
Yeah.
stuff. So, but the first 3 categories I killed. I was great because I actually wrote something, and then I was like, So I killed for business. They had a leather. This is a high school. They had a leather category.
What's going on?
Because there was a leather shop down the road. And so, like, literally high school girls wearing skin-tight leather outfits. Like, so I had material for that, and I had and lingerie. They had high school lingerie. I wrote material for all 3 of those, and then after that, it was streetwear, editorial, athletic, and then finally formal wear. And between athletic and formal wear, like, they were putting on tuxes and gowns and shit. So they're like, stall. You got to stall. I'm like, I came out here with nothing. I like literally nothing. And oh, God, it was like, and I was wearing a tux, you know, and it was just the worst night of my life. The worst night of my life.
Were you in a tux the whole time, or
Yeah.
were you like matching?
No, I was in
he
a
has to
tux.
change it.
I was the host.
He's in lingerie.
Like they were booing me. By the end of the night, they were booing me. Like,
They're booing you.
yeah, these are my peers. It was bad.
But you were
I mean, what
saying
were you supposed
jokes about like professional wear and
Yep.
lingerie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a whole thing about like socks and underwear, like just calling, lingerie socks and underwear, like all just stupid shit like
Yeah.
that. But it was killing. But then I was just like,
Oh, so you
Then
peaked at the beginning.
peaked at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then I was just hoping to be like, hey, we're in a rhythm. All right, guys, time for streetwear. Stall. And I'm like, oh God, I have nothing to say. I'm not good on my feet as it is. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
What was your school thinking? Is what I want
Yeah,
to know.
well, they
This
were like,
very
we.
weird, elaborate fashion show.
City of
Yeah.
Toronto had people coming out in lingerie.
Wow, that's
It
great.
was the 80s, man. It was a crazy time.
Great answer. That's awesome. This sounds like a long fashion show.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so long, man. It was so long.
Streetwear. You wear it on the street. Bring them out. We're not ready, Jason.
Exactly.
In happier Knicks news, New York City temporarily renamed a bunch of streets to honor the team's players. Amongst the names, there's Jalen Brunson Boulevard, Carl Anthony Towns Square, and of course, Landry Shamet Circle. Guys, if you could have a street named after you, what would it be?
Sometimes you just got to keep things simple, right? When I'm podcasting from a bed, I'm J.E. Sheets.
Yep.
And when I get a street named after me, I'm J.E. Streets.
That's perfect.
So I don't need to overthink this one.
You should get a street sign in front of your house for sure.
J.E.
Just a
Streets.
custom one, you can order it. Perfect.
A podcaster in the sheets. Podcaster in the streets. Nice. Well done. I would be the garbage man. Just the garbage man. Tasmel's the garbage man. I know it's boring, but that's what I do. I just fill in holes. Look at me here. I just fill in holes, man. I'm the garbage man. Do my part at all times. They did that. They forced us at the starters here. I'm looking at a placard here on our back wall
you're
to
the
be
garbage
the garbage man. Yeah.
Garbage man.
Do the dirty
It
work.
was fun. It was a fun time. Did you like that photo shoot? Did you guys like that photo shoot?
Yeah, it was fine.
It was on
different.
It was in our top 3 photo shoots.
Yeah, there's the Archer.
What was our first one when we
sharpshooter?
did live music? That was
Music. I did like the skateboarding one we did.
Yeah,
that was
That was cool.
that was
great
good.
streetwear on that one, JD.
Yeah, real great. We've kind of done every category. We did
Pretty
formal
much.
wear that one time
Pretty
walking
much.
down the hallway. Those turned out cool.
Oh yeah. Those are good.
Oh, we never did anything with those, did we?
No, we just
It
got
wa-
the photos.
yeah.
Still
Never
got 'em.
turned it into anything. We did the Mardi Gras vibe, or not Mardi Gras, like we were like a band.
Like boater hats. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated that one.
You hated that.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun to do, but I didn't like the final.
It's because we had to go back to New Orleans.
Yeah,
twice.
I think so.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a garbage guy, but your
I
street.
don't understand the question then.
Yeah.
Or
What do you
Street
name
named
this?
after you. Well, Tasman's the garbage man. I know it's a lot.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't really roll off the tongue.
Hey, where do you live? I live on Tasmel is the garbage man.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not an appropriate answer, but whatever.
I like it. JD, what's your street name?
guess I didn't understand the question.
Wait, did you?
I was
did you
picking
look
a
at it
street.
like he?
Yeah. Let's hear you. Let's hear your
Yeah.
favorite street.
Oh, I want college between Young and Church.
That's the one you would want. Jason Doyle.
Jason Doyle Boulevard.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You want
An
that
actual
area?
street.
I want that strip of street because it's right outside of the Mattamy sports school, our alma mater.
Right.
And I want some goddamn respect from those people.
Okay.
Oh, that's what
Okay.
you're looking for.
That's
That's
right.
nice.
Yeah.
So what about maybe even like a No Dunks Boulevard or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just name the block around that old Maple Leaf Gardens. Just, Skeets, Tass, Trey, and Jason Doyle Boulevard.
Okay. sorry,
I can't get a street. He can have my street. They wouldn't
not
allow it.
legal.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that though. Did you see they renamed one of the subway stations
No.
at our old university, which it used to be Ryerson, but now is the
Yeah.
Toronto Metropolitan University,
Yeah.
TMU. That Dundas station.
Yeah.
They've literally just changed, I think, now to TMU station.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably easier for people to know, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the station to get off to go
Yeah,
to TMU,
Sure,
but
sure. They just also hate
Still later
Dundas.
Yeah. Dundas.
Yeah. That's what they should have done. Just rename it Dun.
Throw another S on it.
Dund ass.
But he's a bad guy. The bad guy.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Of course,
sure.
they're all fucking
Probably.
bad guys. Who cares?
Turns
The
out
Wolves
Ryerson
probably-
was a dickhead.
Because of that Knicks game, which was on Wednesday night,
Yep.
we couldn't watch the finale of Survivor 48 live and had to figure out a way to squeeze in the last episode of our favorite show. Skeets watched it late.
Oh, did I watch it late?
Yeah, I got half in on the plane yesterday, then half in a cab. How about you, JD?
Had to wait till I got home.
No Wi-Fi on the plane.
That was a killer. That was a killer.
Wow, things have changed.
Curveball.
What's going? Why? I can't get
It
that.
just wasn't working.
Reset the modem.
Yeah.
Somebody unplug
turn it on.
the airplane and plug it back in, man.
Just wait 10 seconds.
Hey, I got free wine because of it.
You.
I
wow.
always order a drink if there's no Wi-Fi because they can't charge it.
Oh,
That's
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a great travel hack.
Yep.
Wow, I thought.
Wow, that is a really, really
I thought
good
it was just
travel
because the
hack.
flight attendant liked you. after
No, this
Yeah.
was a different one, and she was
Ah.
just like, "Here, just have it because the Wi-Fi's."
Because she
I'm
can't,
like, yeah,
obviously.
I
do
know.
it. Oh, wow. Holy, that's smart, man.
You were killing it on the plane, it sounds like.
You said
You
they
could
had.
have slacked that to us and let us know.
I couldn't. There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the yeah. Before we took off, we did have service.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't
You
know.
wouldn't know. You wouldn't
You-
know that there was no Wi-Fi
Yeah.
at that point.
Like I was
Yeah,
literally.
she didn't say it for a while. Yeah.
It happens at 10,000 feet usually when they make that announcement, like "Welcome aboard," blah blah blah. So I took out my iPad. I'm ready to watch Survivor, and
Yeah.
then I'm like looking for the thing, and right at the end of the announcement, they're like, "No Wi-Fi."
Yeah, she just slipped it in.
Close my iPad. And
So
get that
funny you
card
said
over
that.
here.
I fell asleep when we first got on the plane, so I missed this announcement. I wake up, 20 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, I want to get some work done. Start working on the show. Let's get the Wi-Fi going. But obviously, it's not connecting. But I think it's me, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, okay, it's not, is it my computer or whatever? I almost did the thing where I was like, gonna like, ding,
Ooh.
hey, what's going on with the Wi-Fi here? Is it me or is it you? But
Yeah.
I was looking around. I wasn't seeing a lot of laptops.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it must be it. So anyway, cool
Anyway.
story, bro. Cool story. Played a lot of solitaire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, played a couple games too.
Did you guys see anybody playing the game called 2048?
I play it all the time.
I did.
That game looks insane.
It's impossible. I've never beaten it.
Literally,
You
that
can
game
do
looked
it.
to me
No.
like
You
what they're
can do it.
doing in macro data refinement in
Oh, these
Severance.
numbers
He's
are scary.
This guy's just like 4 to 8 2 2 2 2 2 16.
Oh, is that what they're
There's more
playing?
strategy.
I
to
didn't
it than
understand
that.
it at
Yes.
all.
No,
What?
you get it. It's just doubling numbers, but you kind of have to play the position
But
on
a new
the board.
number always populates, yeah, and then you can get screwed because it gets like caught. You know, it gets like cornered in.
Yeah, that position
Yeah.
of it. You have to figure that part out.
It's a really stupid game when you think about it. But for some reason, it just kills like
It's
5 or
simple.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was going swipe crazy next to me.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Minority Report. Oh, so back to the question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When is time you delayed gratification?
I went with the Raptors winning a championship.
Okay.
In 2019. Obviously, there since day one as a Raptors fan. Took a long time. A lot of money was spent. Tass and I have talked about it. You know, we had season tickets when they were probably at their worst, and saw some bad basketball. But of course, it all paid off in the end.
yeah.
And working for NBA TV for crying out loud when it happened was pretty cool. Got to be in Toronto the night they won the championship. That was even cooler to party with my friends. So that was good delayed gratification.
Great one.
And who knows? Will I ever see another one in our lifetime? For our Toronto Raptors. I hope so. But it's not guaranteed.
You're telling me, man. You've been waiting, what, 6 years? That's
Yeah.
been cool 27 so far for me.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. When have I delayed gratification? My intimate relationship with my wife is often delayed. You know, we've been married for a while. We've got kids. It's part of the game. It just doesn't happen that often.
Gotta wait it out.
Yeah, and then when you expect it to happen, it also doesn't happen. So those, yeah, there's a delay. I mean, is it? It's more like football where there's a week in between. Nah. It's more like what are sports that? There are no sports.
Like the
that's
Olympics?
I was gonna say, hopefully
Every
not
4
the
years.
Olympics. Oh,
Every 4
Jesus.
years, yeah, it slips in there every 2 years with another form of the
I was
Olympics.
gonna say like a golf major or something. You know, is it maybe every couple
majors?
months or
4
two?
times a
yeah.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
4 times a year. There you go.
Majors. That's a good one. 4 times a year.
How about you, JD?
You know, it's television series for me. We have a family of basically adults now here living in the house, so we're all kind of watching the same shows. So Andor, haven't gotten to the end of it yet.
People are loving it.
People are loving it. We're sort of halfway through the second season, but it's just like, hey, want to watch Andor tonight? Nah, go to this, that, and the other, but we're all like trying to watch it together. So,
Oh wow, that's
Can't get everybody on the
difficult.
same
It's
page.
hard, man.
I mean, it's already tough just with your significant other
Exactly,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like you're both in the same mood to watch it, blah blah. But now you have 2 other people
I know.
with Jackson and Lincoln. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, and then they're not watching the same ones. Jackson's not that interested in Andor. He's like, I'm gonna go play COD. And so, you know, there's a lot of moving parts now. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
So how many shows do we have on the fly right now?
Right now, I've got 3. I've got Andor.
Yeah.
That's Lincoln, Rachel, and me. I got Mobland. That's me and Lincoln.
Mobland, yes.
And then I got Last of Us, which is the entire family.
Okay,
Those
that-
are the 3 going right now.
Okay.
So, let's see.
Rehearsal.
Rehearsal. That's me and Lincoln.
Okay. Good. That's almost done. I think
Yeah,
the finale's this Sunday. I think.
I've only watched 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
so
You got a little bit.
It's
Okay.
it's hard.
You
That's
said
what
you
I'm
just
saying.
finished Severance, right?
Yeah,
Season 2.
yeah,
That's
yep,
right. Okay. What do you got on the run right now?
Shows wise?
Yeah.
I got nothing. Shows wise, like Survivor just ended.
Yeah.
Severance just ended. Our Max subscription is not up to date right now, so I want to watch Righteous Gemstones. But I told you, I watch movies more than I watch.
Yeah, you
I
are.
watch
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Like Laura, I don't know how she's done it. She's been watching this show called The Midwife. She watches it, I feel like, 4 nights a week. And somehow she's been watching this same show for 8 months, it feels like. How many episodes can there possibly be of this show? There must be 1,000.
14 seasons.
Okay.
I've never heard of this show.
Wow.
What is this?
It's
British,
a
right?
drama.
Yeah,
it's
British
like
drama?
Yeah, I'm certainly a period piece about, reproduction.
Yes.
Okay.
Day.
Yeah.
But
Nurse midwives working in East End of London in the 50s.
yeah,
That's
so
called a midwife.
if she's gonna be calling the midwife, I am gonna find a movie to watch. 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. I'm done,
Right.
and that's how I watch more movies than I watch TV shows.
Man,
It's nice.
there's a lot of TV shows. There's a show that's been on for 14 seasons that your wife is watching on the daily, and I've never even heard of.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Well, speaking of Survivor, we are going to have our final No Buffs episode of the Survivor 48 season, at least, today at 1 p.m. Eastern on the No Buffs YouTube page. Obviously, flip it into a podcast. Nora will be in here to talk about last night's finale and the after show and what we thought of the season overall, and then maybe look ahead to season 49 of Survivor. We also could. I mean, we maybe could come back next week, I was just thinking. I don't know, I'm throwing this at you guys on the spot here. But, like, they are announcing the Survivor 50 cast. Could be a podcast there if we wanted to
Sure.
maybe comment on it. But anyway, today, 1 p.m. Eastern, this is Friday, Survivor 48, episode 13, the finale recap. Breaking it down. Yeah, I watched it at, I started it at like 1:20 a.m. on the Wednesday night after we did the podcast, after I went down and got a slice of pizza down the street, saw JD, and yeah, it was stupid. Because I was like, oh man, I'm starting this, and like, I just know I'm not going to be able to turn it off once I get going here. Now, I could fly through commercials. That was good. So I could stay like moving with some pace. But I went to sleep. Like you guys saw, I went to sleep at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's crazy, man. The first hour too was.
Oh yeah.
That would have been tough to get through at that time of day.
Thank God I had the pizza at that time.
That's a good point. Pizza
Yeah.
power.
That's right.
Delicious, of course. Delicious.
Nice
of course.
greasy New York pizza.
Were you sad though that neither of us had watched it the next day, so you couldn't even talk about it with anybody?
No, I was impressed you guys avoided spoilers.
Yeah.
So that was, and myself even, but you know, I guess I only had a couple hours to just stay off the internet as much as possible. But I had to get on, post the show. No, because it wasn't that amazing. And we're gonna talk about it. We'll
tune
talk
in.
about it. Yeah. We'll tune in.
It'll be great. The podcast.
It wasn't like, oh my God, what a move. I have to talk to Trey and JD about
Sure.
this now.
Sure.
Now, did I write? I wrote Nora because she had watched it. I said, hey, okay, what'd you think? Blah, blah, blah. So I had someone to bounce ideas off of. But anyway, we'll talk about it today. That's the drop for today, though. Thanks for joining us all week, whether it was from here in the Classic Factory or a king-size bed in a hotel room in New York City. Really appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews.
Oh, they told us if we don't get 500 likes on this episode, we can't do one tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
so-
company.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear him say that when we were at all these meetings. But you do your part, and we'll be good.
So 500 likes, and we do a podcast tomorrow.
Yeah,
which
we
is
can do
Saturday.
another one tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
There you go. You heard it
I
here
meant
first.
Monday. I don't know. Literally, I have no idea what day it is.
Yes, no clue.
It's
we might
today's
have-
Friday. I think it is.
Yeah, I thought you were pushing us into a Game 2 recap of Knicks Pacers, which is
Cool. If it's as good
know.
as game 1,
You know.
there'll be a podcast on Saturday. I'll tell you that.
Who's bed?
I mean, well, it doesn't really matter. I think we all have king-size beds.
Okay. Yeah. I do. I mean, there'll be people sleeping in mine.
JD would love us.
Oh, we're doing it late night. Yeah, you're right. We do it after the game. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
My guest bedroom.
I got
guess
Nora.
better.
I got the dog usually.
We gotta rent a hotel room. 4 dudes show up at midnight. We need a hotel room for just for a couple hours. Just a couple hours.
Just a couple
no big
hours.
deal.
So we're bringing in some camera equipment, some microphone equipment. Like, oh, I think I have an idea what the hell's going on there. Anyway, keep an eye on the feed. Who knows if we have a podcast later tonight
yeah.
or tomorrow, or if not,
Music
we'll
is
see you on Monday.
back. Music died there because we went long. Now it's back.
That was a rapid fire.
Yeah, music fading out. I have opinions on it. Clipper Rose.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
It just ended. It didn't fade out. Anyways,
Well, you know what I mean.
thanks for joining us. And remember, Delta offers the internet on every single flight now.
No, they don't.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. It's pretty close. Delta's good. It is good. Name another airline that does that.
I'm Team Delta, but come on, have your Wi-Fi going. It's 2025.
Yeah. It was weird to fly without Wi-Fi.
Brace the day, people.